Could you swing by my office as soon as you have a minute? I squeezed my eyes shut and fought the urge to snap my desk phone in half. I didn't have a minute, and wouldn't for a while, but when Dad summoned me to his office, it meant now, so I forced the frustration out of my voice. Yeah, I'll be right there. He hung up without further comment. I sighed heavily and put the phone back on the cradle. With a knot in the pit of my stomach, I surveyed the paperwork spread out across my desk. I shot a plaintive look at my email browser, hoping the number next to new messages hadn't increased in the 14 seconds I'd been on the phone with my father. It had. Of course it had. By the time I came back from Dad's office, the pile would be higher and that number would be bigger. So much for not coming in this weekend. And everyone wonders why I went gray so young. Okay, so that was mostly genetics, but I suspected my dad had contributed more than just DNA to me being completely gray at 35. My phone started ringing because of course it did. According to the caller ID, it was Jan Harper, one of my engineers. I suspected it was about a set of schematics that we desperately needed to finalize by the end of the month, but I let her go to voicemail because the only thing more urgent than that project was whatever Dad wanted. I got up and walked away from my desk, my phone still ringing behind me, and headed down the hall to Dad's office. Maya, his secretary, smiled at me. "He's ready for you. Go on in." I returned the smile. "Thanks." Then I continued past her, gave his door a cursory knock, and went inside. "Have a seat." Dad's voice was terse, as always, and he didn't look away from whatever he was typing. I took my usual chair and waited while he finished his, I assumed, email. When he'd finished, a moment later he faced me, folding his hands behind his keyboard. "Is there something I need to know about between you and Marcus?" My heart stopped. Well, shit. This wasn't what I'd expected when I'd come in here. Why do you ask? Because you've seemed a little, I don't know, uncomfortable around each other lately. If I hadn't been so startled by this line of conversation, I might have laughed. Uncomfortable around each other? A little uncomfortable. Right. That was a hilarious understatement. Or at least it would have been if I hadn't been filled with so much horror that my father had noticed the tension between me and the company's marketing manager. He was usually oblivious to things like that. Oblivious enough that my year-long relationship with Marcus had slipped completely under his radar, as had our breakup almost 6 years ago. Then again, Marcus and I hadn't had to work together on a near-daily basis back then, and our split had been amicable, complete with a long conversation about making sure things didn't get weird at the office. These days, we were constantly in each other's space, and thanks to a certain incident at the company Christmas party 2 months ago, things were, well, weird didn't begin to describe it. We still couldn't even look at each other. "Reuben." Shit, how long had I been sitting here like a dumbass trying to come up with an answer? I cleared my throat. Sorry. Look, everything's fine. We've just both had a lot on our plates lately. Or at least I have. Dad grimaced. "I suppose you have. How are things going with Michelle?" Wincing, I avoided his gaze. "They're moving along." Because god damn, I needed to think about my divorce in progress on top of everything else right now. Fuck this. I had work to do. I pulled in a breath and looked at my father. "Is that what you brought me in here for? To ask about me and Marcus?" My own phrasing almost gave me heart failure, as if Dad might read between the lines and realize there had ever been a me and Marcus. He obviously didn't, though. "That's not all I brought you in here for, no." His chair creaked as he settled back. "But I do need to make sure the two of you are getting along. We are, I promise." It was true enough. Wasn't like we were at each other's throats. Things were painfully awkward, but Marcus and I both took our jobs seriously, and we didn't let our bullshit interfere with our work. Much. We'd definitely need to sit down and clear the air about a few things, but Dad didn't need to know that.